So today, we're going to talk a little bit about cello as a percussion instrument, which if you played on some of these tracks before, you'll know there's a lot of things you can do with the cello besides just playing it with plucking or the bow. And we're going to use a few of those to make the Calypso rhythm for this piece. Because not everybody has maracas at home, or, well, these aren't real claves, but a clave, which is one of the rhythm, would sound like wood clacking or bass drum. So we're going to do all of those on the cello. But before we get into that, I want to talk a little bit about the percussion, the rhythm itself. The rhythm it's a very famous Latin rhythm. You've probably heard it in a lot of pieces. It's called a rumba rhythm, and actually it's a sons rumba, because if you counted the 4/4 as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and then the rhythm is always going to be either 3 plus 2 or 2 plus 3. In our case, we're going to do the 3 beats first and then the 2. So it'd be like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And when you subdivide it, if you look on that video I'm going to send a link to, it goes 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 I'm going to play it right now. You can follow along, and it'll actually light up and show you where the claps are happening. And this is sample 1. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and that happens in... That is what the clave rhythm is in this piece, and it happens a lot in the songs. For instance, at the beginning... That rhythm happens a lot in the piece. Sample 3 is in one of the melodies. It's still that 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, dun, 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 dun. And then you put all of them together. That's going to be something you can practice on your own. And you want to just remember it's where the notes fit. 1, 2, and 3, 4, 1, and 4, 1, 2, and 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, 4. So, sorry, I need to stop this. It's reloading. But you'll go, when you have it in your piece, whether it's anything like that is going to be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now, when you play the maracas, that is just going to be a steady 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and you can listen for that in the track. It'll be like that through the whole song. You will hear something playing 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and the whole time, all the way through. So, let's review each of those percussion parts, how to play some of these effects. 1, for the maracas, since you want something that sounds that swooshy back and forth sound, you can do that on the body of the cello. You can do that somewhere on the neck. If you wanted to, you can even take your bow. I usually hold it upside down and either bow right along the edge of the bridge, or even inside the bridge on the legs. Just make sure that you're not hitting the tailpiece or the body of the cello itself. If you're going to do that, make sure you set the bow up before you start actually playing the clicks, because there's a lot of ways to make a lot of noise. You can even try it, go straight across and just bow like the legs of the thing from underneath. So watch where the bow hairs are, that you don't catch it on anything sharp. see if you can find a good spot that makes a nice slushy sound. For the claves, since we want that very sharp wooden sound, I would recommend somewhere either on the ribs of the cello, where you have a lot of dense wood, or maybe on the top, but with just like one finger and flat, and damp the strings, because if you don't, you'll get all of the ringing sound of those strings. So I would lightly damp it with one hand and do the knocking in a nice solid part. Make sure your mic is, if you're using a mic, that it's only a couple feet away, because if it's too far away, you'll lose a lot of that percussive attack sound, which is what we want for these parts. The bass drum, again, like Tony said in previous things, you can either cover up the F hole as much as you can to try and get a big thuddy sound. Again, cover up the string. Or just turn around on the back and big flat hand on the back as much as you can and dampen the strings. Get a nice kick drum, bass drum sound. Remember, when you record these, we're only doing those 12 measures of playing with the 2 measures of intro counting in. So you'll hear click, 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 and then you start playing. And you play for the 12 measures, and that's all we do. So I'm wearing the headphones. I only have it over one ear, so I can hear the click track, but I won't record it. So what I'm going to play that. I'm going to do the bass drum first, and like I said, you want to either cover up the F hole as much as you can with your hand, or if you have a smaller hand or just want to get the soft sound from the back of the cello, you can do that. I think I'm going to try like a few measures of one way and then spin it around and do the other. So now I'm going to go back, and we're going to try this time the claves sound, which you can do tapping on the ribs. You could tap with just your finger maybe on the top, but you want that bright woody sound. So I'm going to use the one finger, and I'm going to dampen the strings so they don't ring too much. Otherwise you'll hear all the ringing instead of this. So this is the claves. Same passage. There's going to be 2 measures of counting in and then playing the rhythm. So 1, And then I'm going to do the bow inside the bridge, right here. So when you bow, kind of get that whoosh, whoosh, whooshy sound on the wood of the bridge. I like to do it inside out like this, as if I was playing on a tam-tam or cymbal or something. You want to have a lot of rosin on the bow to be able to pull this one off. And make sure your bow doesn't hit the cello. So that would be the bow. You could do the bow along the edge on the outside. Just wherever you do it, you want to make sure you wipe it all off when you're done, because that rosin will build up fast. A third possibility is just if you have a nice rough side along the neck, we could probably do that. So anywhere that you can get a nice sandy kind of sound. So here we go. And that's it. You've done the percussion track.